Hello there. Are you tired of the Call of Duties and the Halos and all that other first-person shooter silliness? Well, how about you go back to Persia with a friend of mine, the Prince of Persia, and his friend Elika, as the prince again finds himself in a sticky situation. Can he pull through? Well, with Elika, let's hope so. It's Prince of Persia for the PlayStation 3 today on Power Up. As usual, welcome back to the show. In today's episode, I am going to review an excellent 3D action platformer made by Ubi Soft. If you haven't heard of already, Prince of Persia back in the day was started out as a 2D side-scrolling platformer, and then you're here to save a princess from a cruel fate. Fast forward a lot of years later with Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I believe that was the first time Prince of Persia moved to a doable, well, I think it did do 3D before that, but Sands of Time was the pinnacle, to me, or one of the pinnacles of the Prince of Persia series. It had excellent platforming, a cool time reversal mechanic. Well, of course, if you die, you can reverse time, and the combat was not too shabby either. Although I liked it, I loved the platforming. Whether that be running on walls, trying to jump to the next platform, or stuff like that. And it had some puzzles, which was pretty cool too. Well, flash forward even further to 2008 to this review. And with that, it'll be Prince of Persia. No Sands of Time, just Prince of Persia. This came out in 2008, and the graphic style was cel shaded. And I think this is just as good as Sands of Time. What was my basis on this? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Prince of Persia was released in 2008 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. The storyline is different from the Sands of Time trilogy. This game is presented as a whole new... Actually, it was supposed to be presented as a whole new, I think, trilogy in the series. It was meant to be a whole new... I should say, actually, haha, before I muck up anymore, it's meant to be a reboot. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, reboot. How silly of me. In it, this character named the Prince, which in this game he's not royalty, it's just more of a nickname. He's looking for his donkey Farah. From, I wonder where they got that name from. Anyway, he's looking for that donkey Farah, who was lost in a sandstorm. Along the way, the prince runs into this girl Elika, who happens to be a princess of this region. So what happens next is awesome. Apparently along the way he fights some guards to get away from her father, and what begins as that turns into something much more. Okay, with that opening information out of the way, I would just like to say this game is awesome. I know I usually explain on it more, but here's why it's awesome. What I like about it is, first of all, it's a Prince of Persia game, of course. But what I really like about it is the platforming, being an action platformer. It is phenomenal. Like, everything feels very fluid. Like, what's cool is you still got your wall running. You still got, your other cool things. But what's cool about it is, to me, in this game, you cannot die. well, I should say you know you can't really you cannot die of an enemy or something, because every time that you miss a jump or enemy is about to finish you, Elika, the character I mentioned, she's a non-playable character, but she follows you wherever you go, and if you miss a jump or about to die, she saves you. But don't worry, it's not just oh my gosh, she doesn't save you right at that point. There is a price for it in a way. If you get saved from being felon, you don't resume right at that spot. She brings you back to the last part where there was dry land, there was solid ground. And likewise in combat, if you are fighting and you get hit or she has to save you, the enemy, if you knock off a lot of health, he gets a lot of health back as a penalty for having Elika save you. And speaking of enemies in combat, it's pretty cool. Like, you have your sword, you can block sword, and with Elika, you can do different combos. And they have, like, I think in game they have like a combo tree you can look at, so you can see the different combos you can pull off. You can use a mixture of Elika's magic, and so you can use your gauntlet, which you also use for grip falling, which I'll get to in a little bit. You can use it to lift the enemy up, attack them, and then do it like that, which is pretty neat. The flow of the game is basically you go platform for an area, and you get to like one of the boss fights, which you'll fight a little bit in the game. Some of the, each area has its own main boss to fight, which you do multiple times. But anyway, after you do that, Elika heals the land, and which makes it really awesome looking. When you first get into this corrupted land, this land that has been taken over by this corruption, the air looks dull and dreary and just not too good to go through. But after you fight that enemy's boss, you hear the land and it looks a lot better. And even the soundtrack, by the way, is fantastic. It feels like a grandiose adventure you're on, which is really cool. But anyway, after you hear the lands, you have the main thing is you get these orbs called light seeds. You get enough of them in one area or something, you get a certain amount of them, and you unlock a new power. Also, when you get enough light seeds, you go back to this palace or temple and choose a new ability for Elika to learn. And that's pretty cool. I won't get too much into it, but they're pretty cool abilities, and they're needed to get further in the game. So yeah, good stuff. And anyway, back to the platforming again. It's very fluid, and also like when I get a light seed or something, I look around and I wonder what's cool is how can I get that light seed, and I giggle with glee, almost saying, "Ooh, goody! I can get there." And this game is just plain fun. A lot of reviewers, some reviewers give this game crap because, oh, Elika saves you, you can't die. You can't, quote unquote, die. But what do they know? This is a very, very fun game. I cannot say this enough. It is one of the gems of the PS3. And this game, even though I'm reviewing the PS3 version, this game is on the Xbox 360. And as cool as they have down there, they added one downloadable content piece called the Epilogue, which takes place after the main game. But one of my friends have it. I really should pick it up myself. It's on both the Xbox and the 360 and the PS3. They're really fun. I played a little bit of it. It was just as fun as the PS3, and that's when I was this version. It was almost like a mini game within itself. There was a lot of content for the price they asked for, so it was good. It was really fun, and I might have to buy it myself. And one more thing to note, this game also has unlockable costumes. depending on different situations or different conditions within the game, you can unlock costumes or different skins per se for the prince and Princess Elka. For example, for the prince you can unlock his Sands of Time skin or costume, and for Elka you can unlock Farah's outfit also for Sands of Time for her to use. I played up these once or twice. They seemed pretty weird, but they're pretty cool nonetheless. So yeah, I know if I'm gushing about this game a lot, I'm sorry, but this is a really fun and engaging fun and engaging single player experience. Plus, coupled to the fact is that after certain parts of the game, the prince and Elka can have a conversation. If you see it as an icon in the lower left of the screen, I think it's L2 or L1 for the PS3, and I forget what the buttons are for the Xbox. If you do that, you can engage in conversation, which helps flesh out the story a bit, which is really fun, which is really cool. It's really cool and fun. So you can learn, and I love their banter. Their banter is just humorous and fun and cool to listen to. So that's another reason to get this game if you like stuff like that. But anyway, I've done gushing about this game long enough. But please pick up this game if you haven't already. Well done, Ubisoft. You guys rock. And I'm sad in that I know they were gonna make this into another trilogy or something, but sadly, with the Sands of Time movie that had come out, after that came out, they then chose to go back to the Sands of Time universe with Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. Although that game, I have the Xbox 360 version and the Wii version of that game. They're both different games, and they are also very well done platforming experiences, although more linear. But I'll get to that in a later review. But this game is just as good, and it's just as, and I feel this game should have gotten at least another sequel at least. I would have loved to see what happened to the Prince and Elka again. So anyway, highly recommended as usual, and please make an effort to pick this up. You won't be disappointed.
You make your own path. I'm not gonna let.
And as usual, if you live in or around the South St. Paul or Twin Cities metro area, you know what I'm gonna say here. Please visit my good friends at Level Up Games. If it hasn't already, it should be down. The address and their little website should be down below. Hello there. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, please rate and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I have a Twitter feed and a Facebook fan and group page, as well as a website. I think I know the number. I said that and all that stuff. And all that fun stuff is down below as well. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of Power Up.